Greetings and salutations. Hey, got a question for you. Does your steering wheel look like a honey badger got a hold of it? If you have a 97 through 01 Jeep Cherokee Sport, Jeep Cherokee Classic with an airbag, good luck finding a good used steering wheel. Sometimes it's just better to be lucky than to be good, and I found one at Pic-A-Part for 11 bucks. I've seen used leather wrap steering wheels go for well over $100 on eBay. Oh sure, the color's worn a little bit, and, you know, but I can fix that. But it's intact, it's not tattered, in relatively good shape in comparison to this one, which isn't. But if you're not careful, you could injure yourself severely by messing around with a steering wheel with an airbag. So there's some steps you need to take to make sure that you A, don't hurt yourself, and B, don't find yourself going someplace to find a new airbag. So first thing you need to do is disconnect the battery. So let's do that now. Disconnect the negative terminal from your battery. Then, just in case if there's any kind of storage capacity within your electrical system, do a few things like turn your headlights on and off, beep the horn, push the brake pedal, anything that may dissipate any stored energy within the system. Once that's done, you can start disassembling the steering wheel. First thing I need to do is take out the airbag. Okay, on the back of the steering wheel, there's a couple of sets of screws. You're after these ones right here. There's one on either side of the steering wheel. I might have to go get a ratchet. That's a 5/16 or an 8mm. Either one will work. Now you can lift off the airbag. You got a connector here for your horn. And when it falls out, it'll just take the connector for the airbag right out of the center of the airbag here. In all actuality, you probably shouldn't do that. Take this one off first. Take your airbag and set it aside so it doesn't get damaged. Now in my case, I need to remove these switches, but I'll do that after the steering wheel is off the column. Take this wire off here because that's going to stay with the vehicle. There. Okay. I need to pull this nut off. Pull that wire out of there. I need to access these holes for the steering wheel puller. So I believe this is it's either 3/4 or 13/16. Let me go see. 13/16. Or the metric equivalent. Okay, now I need to find my wheel puller. Well, I'll be dipped in my own sauce. I found a couple of bolts, and they're not even metric. So 3/8 bolts, 3/8 coarse thread. Make sure you don't damage the wires. Now, there's no reason to tighten these with a wrench. You can just, unless it's, you know, they're full of crap, just thread them down there as far as you can. Take up the slack. Now this is a 3/4. You get that. Just tighten that down, and it should pop the steering wheel right out the spline shaft here. Just like that. If you're doing that with a tool like this, even if you're doing it by hand, make sure that your bolt that you're pushing on the steering shaft with stays centered and it doesn't walk off and dicker up the threads, because that would suck. Nobody likes dicker threads. Carefully pull your wires through and out. Now, like I mentioned before, I got to take these switches and stuff off and transfer them to the new steering wheel. On the back side here, you got Torx, probably Torx 25 or a 20, and that little Torx screw is what holds these switches on. And pull those off, transfer them to the other steering wheel. T20 it is. Did you close the door? Voila. Well, this can get thrown away. That too, I don't need it. Now, dealing with a vehicle that's 21 years old, you might experience an issue like this. Did you see this control here, how it goes on here? And it fits over this aluminum boss, and then the screw goes through this piece and sandwiches the switch between this aluminum boss and the back. Well, this one broke off. So I'm going to have to use a bit of super glue, I believe, to put it back on. Let's see how this thing fits on here first before I start just gluing it intermittently. Well, I'm gonna have to fix this off camera where I'm not in the freaking cold. Try to fix it anyway. Let's put the steering wheel back on so at least we can drive this heap. Before you go through and reinstall your steering wheel without all the components in place, it might be a good idea to put all your components in place. Slip your wires through, make sure that you don't kink them or pinch them. Slide them in place, like so. Make sure you have your plastic back on. Otherwise you'll be screwed. Don't ask me how I know. Slip the steering wheel on, and now you can reinstall the steering wheel bolt. Again, make sure that these wires aren't pinched. This is your clock spring wire. Plug that back in, and then in this case it gets shoved in one of these bolt holes, and that holds that in place. In my case, I'm going to remove this switch because I need to repair it. Let me tighten down this center bolt before I forget. Because you know how it would suck to be driving down the road, say 80 miles. This thing don't go 80 miles an hour. It would suck going down the road at 75 miles an hour and have the steering wheel come off. That would be bad. I'll take this back inside and see if I can't fix it. Maybe I'll try a trick. May or may not work. It's kind of like plastic welding, but not. Alright, I'm going to take my soldering iron. This sucks because I'm right-handed and everything is in the freaking way. I don't have enough cord.
I'll bend your eyes, man. Man! Woo! This is really burning. Fucking super glue is burning the shit out of my eyes.
You better get back in that house, son. There, I think that might work for a minute. Let's see if that worked. Plug this back in. Okay. Now I can put the airbag back in. Probably would be best if you stuck her back at the 12 o'clock position again. Move the screws that you had in there for safekeeping. Start by plugging in your horn button. Slide the little protective sleeve over it so it doesn't inadvertently short out. Hook up the airbag sensor. And then make sure everything's plugged in. Everything is. And put the bolts back in. Good standard of practice for any fastener when you're putting things together like this is to just lightly tighten the bolts and nuts before you start tightening them down for good. It doesn't need to be hogged down. This is just in there to hold the airbag to the steering wheel. So just snug it down and you're done. Oh. How about a little before and after? That looks much better. Yeah. Now, turn the key off. I'll come out here. Oh, nothing went pow. Yeah. And that's how you replace the steering wheel on a 97 through 2001 Jeep Cherokee Sport or Jeep Cherokee Classic. So if you found this video to be entertaining and informative, smash the like button and share this video with your vast social media network. I appreciate it. Thank you. Check the links in the description for products I use in these videos or the equipment to make them. And if you're so inclined to purchase those or any other product, if you go through those links, the channel earns a little bit of a commission that can defray some of the costs of keeping these hoopties on the road. At this time, I cordially invite you to click the subscribe button, and if you do, click the little bell icon right next to it so you can be notified of future uploads. And until next time, you have fun, stay safe, shoot straight, keep your powder dry, and have a splendid day. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.